Hi there, I'm Dr. Kuda J, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all things in between being and becoming a pharmacist. How you doing? You alright? Happy New Year. Happy 2026. This is the year that we're going to make it. This is the year we're going to do amazing things. This is the year we said we're not putting down anything, okay? And today I want to come in and really share some good stuff. This is for someone, whether you're preparing for your boards, or you're navigating your pharmacy career, or you're just simply figuring out what the next level looks like. This video is for you. I'm really glad you're here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We made it, y'all. We made it. Okay, give yourself a pat on the back because we made it. Now, let me formally introduce myself. I am Dr. Letitia J. I am a pharmacy success strategist, and I help high achievers master their brilliance so they can create the life, the career, and the confidence they desire. And at the core of my work, I really help pharmacists. I said the core of my work, I help people master their mindset. And by mastering their mindset, they're able to move with the clarity, which helps them to maintain that momentum. Now, I'm especially known for doing this in this pharmacy space. So that's why, pharmacists. And I typically help with that in the sense of Naplex preparation, personal branding, or career advancement. My work just sits at the intersection of strategy, mindset, and execution, because talent alone has never been the issue. It's all about what strategy, the mindset, and how we're going to execute this goal we said we're going to do. Okay? And in this video, I want to talk about something that applies to not just to studying, but to life. I want to talk about goals. Now, I know y'all, I've been talking about goals for a minute. I'm not talking about creating no smart goal, nothing like that. I want to talk about a piece that I haven't mentioned before, and that simply is the systems that support that goal. The systems that are supposed to support that goal. We got a little tongue tied, but we here, okay? Because many of us are really good at setting goals. We set goals all the time. We say things like, I'm going to pass the Naplex. I want to advance my career. I want a new job. I want a new credential behind my name. I want to level up. I want to go to the next level. And I don't want us to stop at setting these goals, because these are really good goals, right? These are really good goals. But what we have to do is, what I want us to do is, I want us to make sure that once we set the goal, we have systems that actually back them up. We got to have the systems that back it up, okay? Because too often, goals are just set. They're set as blanket statements without the structure that they need to sustain them. And in this year, this new year, we gotta move. We gotta build a different. We gotta execute. And this is how we're gonna start. We're gonna set goals that have the system. And why? Because this is why it's important. Because this is where, to me, I see a lot of high achievers get stuck. I see a lot of high achievers get stuck. They are used to working hard. We're used to figuring it out, pushing through. We used to doing that. So when something really isn't working, the instinct is to do more, because it's something we did wasn't working. So let me do more. Let me speed up the process. Let me add more onto my list, and let me, because that's what it was. But doing more without structure doesn't always lead to progress. And I know many of us, and the buzz book a lot of times around this new year is James Clear Atomic Habits. And it's a good read, don't get me wrong. I'm going to take a little piece from it. And one of the things he always says, that goals are good for setting direction, but our systems are best for making progress. Those goals are good for setting direction, but systems are best for making progress. Our goals going to tell us where we want to go, but our systems determine whether we're actually going to get there. A goal, again, is simply, I want to pass the Naplex. But your system tells you what you do daily, how you measure your progress, and what you adjust when something isn't working. Okay? Our goals are the point north, but our systems build the road. Does that make sense? I was also reading an article with Ashley Jensen, and she explained how this idea, when she talks about how systems create sustainable progress, not just a short-term motivation, because oftentimes we have this short-term motivation, right? And she explained that the goals focus on outcomes. That now she explains that goals that focus on outcomes, but systems focus on the process. And when the excitement of a goal wears off, that system is where you keep moving forward. It's the system. And I want to make this very practical for you. So let me give you a real life example from my own life, okay? Back in November, I created a video where I shared that I want to become an HIV certified pharmacist. And I basically stated that it was 100, and I think it's and that was my goal, just be an HIV. Let me clarify, my goal was to become an HIV certified pharmacist. But I knew the exam was coming up. I knew it was open book. I knew that I had been studying before, um, but I knew that I did not want to wait till the last minute. I wanted to have a structure of I wanted to take my time to answer the questions, and I want to do it at a pace where I'm not just rushing all of, like, obsessing over the dates coming and I'm overwhelming myself and all that at once. I didn't want to do that. So I looked at how many questions on the exam. It was a 125 question exam. I said, okay, Laquita, no problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my system simple. I'm going to answer 5 questions every day using my farm method that I teach in my flagship program, the Naplex Play. And that was it. I'm just going to do 5 questions using my farm method, because I knew I wouldn't be overwhelmed, and how I projected it. If I was due 5 questions, I think the exam was due by December 4th or something. But I knew if I did 5 questions, one, I would have been completed before December 4th, but also I've been just less overwhelmed. I would not have been overwhelmed. It was just, I had just do 5 questions a day, done with like, that's with my intention. I have opportunity time to review properly. I can explain it aloud. Like, that was the system. Just 5 questions. Like, if I had to answer these 5 questions and I can't review again, I'm okay with this. That's just it. I had all the focus in the work, because sometimes we need that little focus, right? And I wanted to just do that, and I stayed consistent with it. And something special happened. When I started doing the 5 questions, it became easier. I felt easier, like, oh, I'm growing confidence. I was doing it. I was understanding. I was having deep understanding, but I also noticed a trend, like, oh, this question was just like this question, or that question is like just like that question. And then, because I got so good at the company, I sort of added on more questions, like 6 questions, 10 questions, and I think one day I had did like 20 questions, but because the system was working, I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't rushing. I wasn't panicking. I wasn't even guessing. I was simply using my form method that I teach my clients, and said, okay. And if something didn't sit right with me, I'll go look it up. But my main goal was use my form method. I want to test, do I understand the information for myself? And this is the system, how really I became a HIV certified pharmacist. Like, that was simply it. And I didn't go try to study, make the process harder than what it was. I just simply did it with structure. And that's why I can say this confidently. I can truly say this confidently that if you are somebody who has had a failed Naplex attempt, if studying harder actually worked, you will already be licensed. If studying harder actually worked, you already be licensed. And that's just the truth. And I want you to sit with that for a moment. Just really sit with that. Because the truth of the matter is, most pharmacists, they don't fail the Naplex because they're lazy. They're unmotivated. They're incapable of doing so. They fail because they are studying without a system, and a system that produces results consistently, especially under pressure. Especially under pressure. Let's talk about it. You probably are already studying long hours. You're already considering buying a prep book. I always get the question of, is this company, is RX Prep better than Pass Naplex now? Always getting that question. You're probably adding more flashcards. You're probably creating a stricter schedule of being very rigid. But if studying really feels overwhelming, inconsistent, or exhausting, the issue isn't effort. It's structure. It's structure. Hard work without a system is like running on a treadmill and you doing a whole bunch of movement, but no forward progress. You come on now. Your treadmill, you just be on a treadmill, okay? But here's the part that often people miss. You can study more without actually studying better. So the real question isn't how much am I studying? The real question is, do I have a system that works? A system, a study system is not just a schedule. A schedule tells you when to study. A system tells you what to study, how to study it, how to know if it's working, and what to do when it's not. See, we have these things in place. The Naplex play that does just that. Because without that, studying becomes reactive. You know, we begin to respond to our anxiety, our fear of missing out, our conflicting advice, the loudness, the loudest voice in our head. All those things does not lead to mastery. It leads to burnout. Systems keep you strategic, even when life is busy. Because even when the motivation is low and the pressure is high, like even when I was preparing for HIV pharmacist, it was a hectic day, and I'm like, oh, I don't got the capacity, but just 5 questions. That's all I needed. And to you, passing Naplex isn't just about what you know. It's about your preparation that performs when it matters the most. So if this conversation is resonating with you, as I always say, if I'm on your road, if you're tired of restarting your plan, you're tired of guessing, you're tired of studying hard without any confidence, I want to give you clarity. I have created a free Naplex study system audit, free, to help pharmacists understand exactly where their current approach is breaking down, and how I would say where your current approach is causing gaps and how we can fix those gaps. Okay, it just takes a couple minutes. There's no memorization involved. There's no hard test. It just gives you a personalized insight into your study system. Because oftentimes, you don't need another prep book. You don't need to try harder. You just need a system that works. And not having to have a system that works. To think like a pharmacy system, it works. Okay? So take it. Look at me. You can truly take the Naplex study system audit at laquitajones.com/study audit. I'll also put it in the link below. And I'll meet you on your results page so you can get your results. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel for your weekly strategy now and your mindset to support the pharmacists, who are preparing for the Naplex and building meaningful careers and beyond. Because we have so much to offer this year and we're not playing, okay? So, like, comment, subscribe, share this video, subscribe to our channel, and I want you to go share the Naplex study system audit to someone, to your friend who is studying for this exam, okay? Go share it. Until next time, remember that pharmacy is only if you are. Now go be great, and I'll talk to you guys later.